So, hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope all of you are doing very well. So today's class is going to be very important, especially for those students who feel confused while describing bar graph. So this is bar graph in IELTS Writing Task 1. I will read the exact report paragraph, then I will explain why it is written and how an examiner reads it, and how you should think while writing in the exam. So remember students, IELTS Task 1 is not about IELTS fluency, only it is about structures, clarity, comparison and correct reporting. So listen carefully and imagine you are sitting in a real classroom. So now let's start with our introduction for this, and this is a pie chart, not pie chart, this is a bar graph, and here is a for country and 10 to 80%. So in your bar graph, blue is a cars, orange is a motorcycle and green is a bicycle, and particularly countries are UK, USA, France and Italy. So now I will start the introduction. Now report writing. It is a report writing. So first heading here, head, it is a report writing. Now we start with our body introduction with this. The bar graph indicates the bar graph indicates the percentage of young people who choose to travel by car, then motorcycle and car, motorcycle or bicycles in the mentioned four countries in any particular years. So this is our introduction. So the bar graph indicate the percentage of young people who choose to travel by car, motorcycle or bicycle in the mentioned four countries in any particular years. So not years, only year. Now students, stop here for a moment. This is the first paragraph of the report, and IELTS language will call it the introduction. This is our introduction. So many students make a big mistakes here. They start writing opinion, numbers or explanation. That is wrong. You don't have to write opinion, numbers or explanation in the introduction. Let's understand what examiner want in the introduction. The examiner asks only one question. Does the candidate understand what the graph is about? Does the candidate understand what the graph is about? So the introduction answers the question clearly. In the introduction answers that question clearly. So let us break it down slowly, and the words the bar graph indicates clearly tell the examiner what type of visual is given. The phrase the percentage of young people tell us the data in numerical. The group is a young people. Then we see the three transport modes: car, motorcycle or bicycle. Car, motorcycle or bicycle. Car is blue, orange in motorcycle and green is a bicycle. So the sentence mentioned 4 countries and the time reference. So the mentioned 4 countries in a particular year, it is a show time reference. So no data like 60%, 40%, 10% is written here. This is exactly what I want. Very important points. No data like 60%, then 40%, then 10% is written here. It is only, you have to write only paragraph on introduction, in a introduction, not write any other things. You have to. So for examiner point of view, the introduction is clear, safe and correct. You have to must write introduction like clear, safe and correct. So now we move to body paragraph 1. Start with body paragraph 1. First we write, in the United Kingdom, you have to write in bracket UK. UK is a 60% young Britons travel in the comfort of cars. This is Britons. This twice the number who select paddling only 10% young British people ride motorcycles. So here is our body paragraph 1. In the United Kingdom, UK, 60% of young Britons travel in comfort of cars. This twice the number who selected paddling, only 10% young British people ride motorcycle. So we understand that. So we enter the body of the report. These paragraphs talk about only one country, which is a very good practice. We can talking about only UK, not any other country, USA, France, Italy. Then we discuss, but first of all we discussed only for UK country. So here is the writer start with in the United Kingdom. We start with in the United Kingdom. This is immediately tell the examiner, okay, now I am reading UK data. Examiner will understand directly. So we are talking about United Kingdom like UK. We are talking about in this paragraph UK. So 60% of British travel by car. So blue is a car. So 60% of traveling by car. And this is a correct strategy in task 1. Always start with the highest or most important number. So you have to always start with highest number. We start with 60 because 60 is our highest number in UK. So this helps the examiner understand the trend quickly. The phrase travel in comfort of car does not give an opinion. It is a just descriptive phrase to explain car uses. So this twice the number who select paddling. Students, this is a very strong IELTS move. Instead of staying 30% cycle, but this writer say half twice the number. Here this twice the number of who select pedaling. So these show comprehension skill, data awareness, higher level reporting. So now we talk about finally 10% of what? 10% of bicycle, motorcycle. So the 10% which is a clearly tell us motorcycle are the least preferred. UK youth depend mainly on cars. So in one paragraph, the writer has main trend, comparison and least population opinion. So this is exactly what examiner look for. Now we move to body paragraph 2. With is a very specific with percentages in USA. Again, the most popular mode of transport are cars like 60%. Here's a paragraph is not exactly about our data, so you don't have to think others. And interestingly 30% here is not space. Americans love using motorcycles. Here cycling is done by more 10%. It is a 10%. Here is a 10%. So with percentage in USA against the most popular mode of transport, are cars 60%. Interestingly, 30% American loves the using motorcycles. Here cycling is done by 10%. So here is the most is 60% of cycling and motorcycling. So and blue is cars and USA has a bicycle is lowest. So now students, shift your focus to the USA. The first word again is extremely important. Why? Because it tells the examiner USA show a similar pattern of the UK. USA is the similar pattern of UK. So we use again. Here we use again for the similar pattern. Cars are again at 60%, which confirm that car dominance is limited to one country. It is the same here, UK is same and US is same. So but now comes the most interesting part. Interestingly, 30% Americans love using motorcycles. 30% people are using motorcycles. So this sentence does two things. It highlights a difference. It uses a trend highlighting words, and examiner loves words like interestingly, however, in contrast. They show analytical thinking. In the USA, motorcycles are much more popular than the UK. Here is motorcycle is more popular in the UK. Here is a 65 around and here is a 67 around. So motorcycle is USA in a highest. So this makes the USA unique. Finally, cycling are mentioned in a more 10%. Cycling is a more about 10% in USA. So the words more strongly show that cycling. The words is a more show that cycling is a very low. So this paragraph clearly communicate Similarity, cars, difference, motorcycles, and lowest choose is a cycling. Excellent task 1 logic. So now we move to body paragraph number 3. French. What here? Why? Here is anything. Control C, Control V. That's why. Here is your French. We are trying. Here is your French. French has a significantly unique cycling trend than any other country. More people cycle nearly 40%. It is a 40%. Nearly cycle is a 40%. Then they choose to drive cars. Motorcycles are ridden by slightly more than 10% French. 10% French. So we continue the 10% French. So here is the French has a significantly unique cycling trend than any other country. More people cycling nearly 40%, then they choose to drive cars. Motorcycles are ridden by slightly more than 10% France. So here is a French is a more than 10% cycling from France. Nearly 40% and more than 10%. So now we talking about this is the most important country in a graph like France. Why? Because France break the pattern. So this press significantly unique cycling trend tell the examiner something different is a coming. We talking about something different is a coming. And yes, here the cycling is higher than car uses. It is a printed mistake. So you don't look at the clearly. So you focus on only paragraph, not here. So this is a completely opposite to the UK, USA and Italy. So this is exactly what an overview friendly country look like. Motorcycles are against low, just slightly above 10%. So slightly more than very important. So IELTS does not want you to repeat exact numbers again and again. Approximately language show maturity in writing. IELTS does not want you to repeat exact number again and again. Approximately language show a maturity in a writing. Now we move to body paragraph 4 for Italy. In Italy can be labeled as a car country. Car country. More than 70% of Italians at any time prefer to travel by cars. Then the and the other two travel by cars. Then the other two travels by car not. And the other two travels options. Both are preferred by an average 10% people in Italy. Here is our body paragraph. 4 is over, 3 is over, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Italy and last is our overall body paragraph. So now students, finally we in Italy can be labeled as a car country. More than 70% of Italian and anytime prefer to travel by cars. Then the others two travel options both are preferred and average 10% of people in Italy. So here our body paragraph was now finally we come to Italy. Italy is show the strongest car dependency. More than 70% of people's prefer cars. This is the highest figure in the entire graph. It is higher. So in UK is 72 something, USA in 73 4 something, and Italy in 75% above. So it is the highest in the entire graph. So these figures, Italy in cars uses is the highest in these graphs. So the phrase car country summarizes this trend is a very clear way. Here we write car country. So the phrase car country summarizes the trend in a very clear way. Both cycle and motorcycle are grouped together at 10% around, but grouping is a very smart because it avoids repetition, it keep a paragraph short and improve a coherence. So now we move to overall. Our overall paragraph is overall cars are more popular in Italy, the UK and the US, while French prefer to ride in all countries expect the United States motorcycle are the least popular common choice. Motorcycle as common. So overall, cars are more popular in Italy, the UK and US, while French are preferred to ride in all countries expected the United States. Motorcycle are the least popular common choice. So here overall is this paragraph can make or break your band score. So the overall paragraph is like a summary headline. This is our summary headlines. The writers clearly state cars dominate in the three countries. French prefer cycling. French is a prefer cycling. Here is a French is a prefer cycling because French is a highest in cycling is the highest in French. Motorcycles are generally at least popular. Motorcycle is all in populous. Italy, France, USA and UK, and Italy is not motorcycle uses. and no numbers, no country by country details, only big trends. This is exactly what a band 7 plus look like. So this is our report, IELTS Writing Task 1 reports. It is a bar graph, and I will read first. Repeat. The bar graph indicates the percentage of young people who choose to travel by cars, motorcycle or bicycle in the mentioned 4 countries in particular years. In the United Kingdom, 60% of young British travel in the comfort of cars. This twice the number of who select pedaling. Only 10% young British people ride motorcycles. So with percentages, in the USA, against the most popular mode of transport are cars 60%. Interestingly, 30% Americans can love using motorcycles. Here, cycling is done by a more 10%. France has a significantly unique cycling trend than any other countries. More people cycling, nearly 40%, than they choose to drive cars. Motorcycles are ridden by slightly more than 10% of French. Italy can be labeled as a car country. More than 70% of Italians anytime prefer to travel by cars than the other travels options. Both are preferred by an average 10% people in Italy. So overall, cars are more popular in Italy, the UK and USA, while French prefer to ride in all countries except the United States. So motorcycles are the least popular common choice. Motorcycle is least popular and cars is the highest lowest and bicycle is the highest lowest. So thank you so much for watching this video, and it is all about IELTS Writing Task 1 report, and it is a bar graph. So if you want to helpful this video, so like the video, subscribe to channel and comment below your queries. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video is very helpful for you.